Hey, it's Nick Fundytus here, and this is Nick Answers Reddit for the week ending September 27th, 2024. So this question is, in short, is a housing crash coming to Ottawa? I Short answer here is no, but here's the details. So Redditor this week asks about, how did they put it? Said, hello, folks. I've been waiting for about a year now to buy a detached home for prices to come down. So far, it has not happened. I've seen many homes listed for over a year, but the prices have not come down. I'm looking for a detached 2-car garage, 3 to 4 bedroom home in Barrhaven. So a lot of that in Barrhaven. With a recent government announcement regarding the 1.5 million limitation. That's regarding insured mortgages and rate cuts. It seems like the price drops I was waiting for have been canceled. I see homes selling again within days in my area. Is the market really moving too quickly, or is this just the fall market for a couple of weeks? Then it will go cold again. Just looking for some sense to my decision making and wait. Is there really a pricing crash possible later this year or next year? So my response here is that you're certainly not alone in wondering whether there's a price, and wondering about timing the market and hoping for a price drop. Now, while there could be a slight softening in prices over the winter market, which I would call November through January in Ottawa, kind of weather dependent until it picks up again in February or sometimes March, due to low seasonal demand, there are a few factors that make a significant price drop unlikely in Ottawa. So number one is that government policy changes are increasing demand. So the recent adjustments to mortgage rules and interest rates have had a big impact. So changes to amortizations, so going from a 25 to a 30-year amortization, insured mortgage limits, which I'll get into more later, and interest rates, which continue to creep downward, are designed to stimulate demand and increase affordability for home buyers. But it does put an upward pressure on prices so that none of this works in a vacuum. And it makes it easier for buyers to afford homes right now until prices continue to creep up. This is particularly true for higher priced homes that are now more accessible to a larger pool of home buyers. As you've noticed, homes in your area, so Barrhaven, are selling quickly again. This could be a sign of pent-up demand. So when these policies increase affordability for buyers, you may see prices stabilize or even rise slightly as now more people can enter the market. And the second big part of this is waiting for a market crash may not be effective. If anybody, including realtors, were good at timing the market to buy low, everybody would have bought in 2019, or they would have bought 50 years ago if they could have bought then, and let home prices increase. This is the same as, there's no crystal ball here. So trying to time the market is a risky approach. You might get lucky, or you can end up on the dock while the boat has left, which is what a lot of people kind of felt after 2019 during COVID, once prices kind of skyrocketed. While waiting for prices to drop might seem like a good idea, factors such as government interventions, interest rates, and overall demand could prevent a significant crash. So my advice to any home buyer is to focus on finding the right home for you and having your ducks in a row. Something that fits your needs and meets your budget. If the home checks your budget and you can afford it, this is your home. It's not just an investment. This is a place where you need to live. That's a win. So if it's important for you to put down roots somewhere and own something, then buy when you can afford. Don't wait to time the market perfectly, because it's a very low chance that you're going to be able to do that. Real estate is a long-term investment, and Ottawa's market is known to be pretty resilient. It's better to buy the right home now than to wait for uncertain price drops and maybe get left behind. So I know that sounds a lot like realtor speak for like, it's always a good time to buy. But really, I'm just saying here, be prepared, know what you need, know what you want. And if you can afford that, go do that. That's what you should be doing. So the other additional question that came out of these comments was, someone wanted clarification on what's that $1.5 million limitation. So this is a new one. It was interesting to see this on a graph the other day. But the 1.5 million limitation refers to insured versus uninsured mortgages. So here's how it works. So an insured mortgage allows buyers to purchase a home with less than 20% down payment. This is a type of mortgage requires the buyer to pay an additional insurance fee to protect the lender in case of default. So CMHC, or one of a number of other mortgage insurers, will insure your mortgage if you are paying less than 20% down, saying that if you default on the mortgage, they'll pay off the mortgage. You don't get to own the home, like it still goes back to the lender, but that's one of the ways that lenders will agree to lend a buyer who has less than 20% down. Now, before the recent changes, which don't come into effect until December 15th of this year, only homes priced up to $1 million were eligible for insured mortgages. Anything $1 million purchase price and up, you had to have at least 20% down. They were uninsurable by CMHC. CMHC didn't want to insure mortgages that were that big. So what it meant was that it limited certain buyers, especially in really pricey markets like Toronto or Vancouver, where $1 million might only be a starter home. So instead of being able to buy it with $1,001 home, instead of being able to buy it with a $50,000 saving, you all of a sudden, as soon as that price was over $1 million, you had to have an extra $150,000 in saving. So you can see how it would limit buyers that didn't have access to a lot of savings, but maybe they had good income. Maybe they didn't have access to the bank of mom and dad, which is a term that has been popularized over the last 10 years here. And so by raising the insurable mortgage cap, so now with the new rules, price points up to 1.5 million will be able to be insured by mortgage insurers. So this change combined with new 30-year amortization rules, ongoing decreases to mortgage rates for the moment, these all put upward pressure on prices, but they also unlock higher price ranges to buyers. Now, with any kind of policy change, this is going to have both its intended effect, which means that buyers can, afford things that are maybe higher prices that they couldn't before, and some home buyers are going to be able to get into the market that were previously shut out. However, these things always have unintended consequences too, where this is going to put upward pressure on demand over time. So, I mean, the kind of base, the sea level for prices continues to creep up as there's, increased demand. So, always kind of positives and negatives. I mean, the overall price of homes going up, might be good for somebody who's cashing out, but overall the prices of homes creeping up is not, for most people, I would not say is a net good thing, especially if you're on the purchasing side. So there's the notes for this week. I hope you found that useful. If you have any questions, especially if you want clarification on any of these points, mortgage rules, amortization, stuff like that, especially if you're buying your first home, this is not a world that you necessarily live in right away. And a lot of people are not super familiar with this stuff. So go ahead, reach out. I love getting questions through our contact page. It doesn't matter if you live in Ottawa. It doesn't matter if you're working with me or a different realtor, whoever. I want to make sure that you have the information that you need to make good decisions in your move. So I will see you next week with another Nick Answers Reddit. And you can, if you're looking for answers for other questions, you can find a lot of them on our YouTube page or our website at nickfundytus.ca. Talk to you soon.